goodness, it feels like fun. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real 100%, where we're 100% real about life with real people, real problems, and real solutions. I want to welcome today Miss Key, Miss Karen. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming to our conversation on today. I usually like to start off my podcast with an icebreaker so that we can break ground. So my icebreaker for you today will be, since we're talking about health and balance, what is your how did you get into this, this part of your life, I would say.
Thanks so much for having me, Sean. I'm so happy to be here. I feel very honored and grateful to be one of your many, many guests. My story is a long one, and it's very what do I say, tumultuous, but I'll try to break it down and keep it short for you. My working background is actually in construction. So right now, for the last 8 years, I've been an Ayurvedic nutritionist and chef.
Okay, break real quick. I had to go literally and look that name up. I was like, what does that even mean? So if you can explain what that name is.
Sure. Very few people that really know, to be honest. So Ayurveda is holistic Indian science. It's medicine, but from a holistic point of view. And it was born out of India. It's been used constantly and consistently for 10,000 years now. And it's a way of healing your body by treating it as one cohesive unit. So your mind, your body, and your spirit, as opposed to, say, regular Western medicine. You got a doctor for your heart, you have a doctor for your brain, you got a doctor for broken bones. In Ayurveda, the healer treats the whole person. If you have a problem with your heart, we talk about all the different things that could be implicating that pain and try to resolve it that way. So that's what I do. That's in a nutshell what I do right now. But my working history is actually in construction.
Okay.
I used to own, I'm from Toronto, Canada, and I used to own one of Toronto's #1 stone restoration companies for years. And I was really good at what I did. But I was stressed. I was stressed out. As anybody who owns a company know, you have all these people that you have to look after. And the stress of making sure they always get paid, they're always cared for, and so on. So I was really good at what I did, but in the process of being really good at what I did, I became obese. I had bad knee pain, bad back pain. I wasn't eating properly. I had bad skin, bad hair, mood swings. I had been diagnosed with something called polycystic ovary syndrome when I was 16. So that brings on insulin resistance, which, by the way, is the precursor to type 2 diabetes. And so all these things were going on, and I just kept shoveling it under the carpet because I would just say to myself, I don't have time to deal with this. I don't have time to deal with this. And then one day I stood up from my desk and I couldn't walk. I suddenly had this shooting pain that was mind-numbingly crippling to me. And so I wasn't paralyzed, but I was in so much pain that I could not sit up. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't tie my shoes. I couldn't even put on my own underwear. I was living with my mom, and it was only by the grace of my mom that I survived, because she would help me shower. She would put cream, like if I was a brand new baby, she would cream me down, put on my clothes for me, because I couldn't do any of it. And so I decided from then I got to make a change. Like, I have to do something. I was so busy looking after everybody else that I forgot that I needed to be looked after too. And, I'd go to work, go downtown to see my clients, cup of coffee in my hand, 3-4 o'clock, I'm eating food for the first time. And of course I'm eating something that I could eat and drive at the same time, because I got to hurry, right? That's the lifestyle that we live. And so I paid the price for it. Anyways, eventually I healed from that. I had to have spinal surgery, and I healed from that. And I said, I'm never going to go back down that road again. But I started to get better, but I wasn't really still, I was just eating better. I wasn't really healing, you know what I mean? Because I
Right.
was still in the business.
Right.
And then in 2015, of July of 2015, to make a really long story short, I woke up and my now ex business partner had stolen my company from me. He'd found
Oh,
a way to steal
the,
the company, my business, right out from under me.
wow.
And we ended up going to court. I lost $130,000 in the process. And
Wow.
he, of course, got the company.
Right.
So that sent me into a spiral of deep depression, between depression and anger and revenge. And in the past, I've suffered badly from, I don't know if you've heard of seasonal affective disorder. It's when people tend to feel very sad during the, I don't know if people in the southern states face it, but in Canada we do, because we're in darkness for a long time. You get up, it's dark. You go to bed,
Right.
it's dark. So
Right.
lacking sunlight for many months. So I used to suffer with that really, really badly. And I used to suffer from depression and suicide and so on, suicidal attempts. So when I lost my company, I felt like I lost everything. I
Right.
felt like I had no job, I had no prospects. I was 45. I was having to start life over again. Who the hell thinks that they're going to start life over again at
Right.
45? You know, when you've been in business for so many years.
Right.
Um, and that same week, what a horrible week that was. That same week, my husband got the blood work back from his doctor. He found out he had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, pre-diabetes. He was obese as well. And then to top it off, his sister told us she had been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis
Oh
that
wow.
same week.
Oh
I
wow.
just felt like my whole world
Right.
was imploding.
Right.
So I needed something to do. I needed a focus because I was spiraling into deep, deep depression. And so my sister-in-law's multiple sclerosis diagnosis helped to bring me out. So I said to her, look, she wanted to find like a holistic way, a more natural way of reversing MS. There's no cure for
Right.
MS,
Right.
but at least to try to heal from it. She was a young girl, brand new mom. So she found a naturopath who was specializing in it, and we found a diet that she could follow
Okay.
that would help her with her MS. So I said, okay, I'll help you with the kids however I can, and I'll cook all the meals. So all you have to do is look after yourself.
Right.
She did it. And I said, because I'm the only cook in my house, I said to my husband, you am bringing no set of medication in this house. Absolutely not.
Right.
We are going to reverse all of this that we've put ourselves into. We're going to reverse it.
Right.
So I said, myself, my husband, my sister-in-law and her husband, we all decided to eat the MS food.
Okay.
And let me tell you, within 6 months, so this started in July of 2015. By
Mm-hmm.
the end of December of 2015, her MS was completely reversed. And it's been 8 years now, and she hasn't had a single flare up. She's amazing. She's fit. She's wonderful. Mentally, she's fantastic. Everything about her is great. You would never know she has MS.
Wow.
My husband lost 72 pounds,
Okay.
and he reversed his high blood pressure, cholesterol, pre-diabetes. Everything was gone, 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 gone.
Wow.
And for myself, I finally, for the first time in my life, was able to kick PCOS and insulin resistance to the curb. I dropped weight. I've put on some since then,
Right.
but over the 8 years, but everybody's health was completely reversed.
Wow.
So they said to me, both my husband and my sister-in-law said, why don't you turn this into a business? And I said, I was
Right.
just doing this for us to feel better because I don't want to feel sick. And so I tried to get back into construction in 2016. But would you believe, every time I tried 3 times to restart, and every time I restarted, it was as if the universe just picked me up and threw me out and
Right.
said, this is not for you. We keep
Yes.
telling you this is
Yes.
not for you. You're not
Right.
supposed to be here anymore.
Right.
So between January and February of 2016, in my family friends circle, we lost 8 people in 7 weeks to cancer and diabetes. In one day, I went to 3 funerals, and I was angry. I
I
was
have to ask,
really angry. I wasn't, I mean, yeah, I'm sad that I was sad that I lost my loved ones, but
Right.
angry that these are lifestyle illnesses and nobody was telling these people, how can you heal from this? People just
Yeah.
filling them with medication and nobody's being proactive to say, you know, if you do this, if you think this, you do this exercise, you eat this food, you
Right.
won't have to live this way.
Right.
So then I decided, okay, I'd been a cook my whole life. I'd started cooking when I was 8, and I tend to show my love for people through my food. I'm good at what I do for sure. Um, but I decided that I wanted to be a healing foods chef. I
Right.
wanted to teach people how to use regular everyday foods that they find in their grocery to
Mhm.
support their health, to be proactive. Don't
Right.
wait until something goes wrong. Then you call the doctor and he says, "Oh, we'll take these pills and you'll be fine. See me tomorrow."
Right.
He's waiting for you to get broken, and then
Yeah.
he's going to try to do whatever he can do to
Yes.
either help himself or help you. One out of the two, right?
One. Yes.
Um, my approach was and still is, let me help you now. Let's make some adjustments now so you
Yeah.
never ever have to get there.
Right.
So I decided to become an Ayurvedic nutritionist and chef. I chose Ayurveda. I could go down any route, but I
Right.
chose that route because I was born in this. It's what I
Okay.
know. It's what I
Right.
grew up in. It's what I've experienced my whole life. And I've witnessed the
Hmm.
changes growing up. I just didn't know when I was growing up
Right.
that it was teaching me what I need now, you know?
Yes.
And so that incorporates mindfulness practices, food, exercise, like the whole gamut of everything. And then I decided to specialize to take on not just being an Ayurvedic specialist, but to become an anti-inflammatory foods and gut health expert. So I actually specialize in foods that help to reverse or better manage cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease, gut health, and diabetes.
Wow.
So that's a short version.
Woo! that I mean, first of all, it's mind blowing. Only because, again, like you said, or I know for the South Side, we don't learn stuff like that. We so used to eating, those hearty meals, fried chicken, the
Mhm.
basics, and it's like we don't think nothing of it. So when you went down the path where you for like what, like literally, it did your mind. How long did, I'm not gonna say how long because I'm sure it's like an everyday thing, but like what switched, like after she said she had MS, after the high blood pressure, the high cholesterol, all of that, like where, how long did it take, did all of you come together, I'll say it like that, did
Mhm.
all of you come together and make an agreement to say, okay, this is it, we're gonna make this lifetime change? And then from that first day, how did you switch, like the foods and stuff? You just threw everything away, or like what did you do?
We came together within, so she told us that week of July 15th.
Mm.
And within a couple of weeks, because we needed to save her life.
Right.
So, um, because as maybe you know, maybe your listeners know or don't know, multiple sclerosis is crippling. You could end up in a wheelchair and lose the ability to do absolutely everything that you consider important. Um, so we had to take action really quickly, and she got, I think by the third week it was,
Mm-hmm.
we had discovered, she found the naturopath, we found the diet, and right away we had a meeting, the four of us that night, and we said, whatever it is, we're going to do it.
Right.
And while I would not recommend that diet, I don't use that diet for my clients because it's extreme and it's hard and it makes you angry because you have to give up everything you love,
Oh,
everything.
wow.
So that's not how I teach.
Right.
But we did have to just do everything cold turkey. There was no we'll ease into it because there wasn't time.
Right.
So
Right.
we literally had to take up everything that no longer fit the diet and give it away or throw it away. And
Right. So,
it's not like we were eating poorly, but we
right.
weren't eating as clean as we
Yes.
needed to for our health purposes. And
Right.
then once we all healed from it, and so that whole process took 6 months. Once
Right.
we healed from it, then we started bringing back small amounts of the foods that we really did enjoy.
Right.
it's been 8 years now, and we honestly need to revisit the original diet, because things have cropped back up, because just we get lazy, right?
Absolutely.
You fix yourself, you're well, and then you start thinking to yourself, okay, well, I don't really need to do that for now, right? I could skip that
Right.
today, I could skip that today, and ding
Right.
ding ding, and then all of a sudden
It's all
you're back
gone.
to where you started.
Right.
So
Right. Wow. So like, did you like? So when you did your research and how you found the diet, so how did you go about finding it? You did like online, or you just did Googles on different foods and what it does for you, vitamins and all that stuff.
So for her specifically, we found the exact MS diet written by Dr. Terry Walls. She had MS, and so she created and reversed it for herself. So she created this diet, and we were vegetarian. So for us to do the diet, we had to become vegan, like whole foods, plant based.
Right.
And then she eventually started eating meat again. No worries, all good. There's no
Right.
judgment from my point of view. Um, and my husband and I, we remained whole foods, plant based. It's different from vegan because vegans don't necessarily care about their health. Whole foods, plant based, we try to eat as clean as possible. Um, and I forgot what you asked me. Sorry, I was rambling.
No, you're fine. Now I was just saying, like, how you started the research.
Oh yeah. Just jumping online.
Hmm.
I just jumped online and started reading research papers,
Okay.
scholarly articles,
Hmm.
and following the guidance of Dr. Terry Walls, and then whatever research papers she shared. And
Hmm.
then that made me just after we reversed it all, then I did the deep dive of getting the books and reading all of the articles, and then you have to compare. One person is saying one thing in one article, and then you got to compare like 10 other articles to see who's really telling the truth, who's been
Right.
paid to say what by
Yes.
which company, and so on and so forth. So it was a lot. It was years and years of research. Not using Google, yes, but not as in just asking Google, but actually looking for the researchers, listening to getting the textbooks, finding the people in the know, studying everything they've written.
Right.
That's what brought me to the position of authority that I have now.
Right.
But in the beginning, it was just find that diet and use the scholarly articles to find out what benefits these foods bring, why and how, so
Right.
that I could create meals, because nobody was giving me recipes.
Right.
But because I was already a good cook, I knew, okay, if I combine this, and this, I'm going to come up with a great meal, and she's going to get better.
Wow. All right. So, okay, the guest question, because like I told you, I'm clueless on all of this. So like, what's the difference between, I guess, a vegan and then a whole
Whole
plant?
foods, plant
Oh
based.
yes. Like, what is? I thought honestly, I thought the vegans were like, the healthy.
Mm-mm.
I had not. I don't know. So if you can tell the difference between a vegan and a whole plant, that would be good
Yeah,
too.
for sure. So veganism is a movement. It's a
Oh,
movement that supports no harm to animals and as little harm as possible to the earth. So people who are vegan don't eat any animal-based product. That
okay.
does not make them healthy. They
Okay.
could be eating French fries and soy and veggie burgers,
Makes sense.
and that's not considered healthy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whole foods, plant-based means that you're eating your food in as most of the most natural way nature made it. So it's like one ingredient foods. When you go to your grocery and you're walking through the produce section, you pick up some broccoli, you pick up a cauliflower, you pick up some bell peppers, and you cook them, but you haven't fried them. You haven't smothered them in cheese.
Right.
You've cooked them in, maybe you've roasted them, or you've put them in a stir fry or something. That's more whole foods, plant-based.
Okay.
And whole foods, plant-based eating includes fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and legumes, cooked in, as I said, the most unrefined, unprocessed way possible.
Right.
You could do whole foods eating and not be plant-based. For example, I'll give you a quick example.
Okay.
If I were recommending something to you, for example, I would say a really great, clean, whole foods meal for you because of where you live in Texas might be a piece of roasted chicken, like maybe some chicken thigh
Okay.
with some stir fried vegetables and a baked potato, or maybe some black rice or something on the side.
Okay.
So whole food. So you want to look at food as meat being the side and plant-based foods being the main.
Wow.
Whereas we grew up in North America thinking meat is the
Yeah.
main and you just have some scattered vegetables on the
Right.
side.
Right.
If you switch it,
Wow.
you will find a huge improvement. If even if you don't change any of the ways you cook,
Right.
all you do is you make the plant food, the food that grew out of the ground, you
Yeah.
make that the main and the meat the side, you'll see improvements right away.
That's definitely something to do because I
Right?
would.
It's not difficult. Then you're not giving up anything, right? You still get to have the foods you love.
Right.
You're just having a smaller portion of them. And then you get to actually taste the vegetables. There are 2,000,001 ways to make vegetables. It doesn't have to be boring, steamed, or boiled. I don't serve that. I never serve that kind of food. You gotta be kidding me.
Right. Wow.
But you want to, or maybe you have, for example, a piece of salmon,
Mhm.
maybe some broiled salmon with some green beans and a stuffed red pepper that's been stuffed with mushrooms and rice. It's a
Right.
fantastic
That
meal.
sounds good though, and that sounds good. Like
Right? And but notice 80% of the plate is plant-based foods.
right.
But you're not giving up eating the meat. We
Right.
just found different ways to cook it. So when you're eating whole
Right.
foods, you want to look at what is the most unprocessed way I could make this food. So margarines, butters, heavy oils, that's a no-go because that's all filling your arteries with
Yeah.
fat. So what could you do? Instead of deep frying,
Mhm.
you could shallow pan fry. You could spray with a little bit of olive oil. You could use 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You could um, you can broil it, you could bake it, you can stir fry it. You can find various ways. If you have an air fryer is gonna be your best friend, man.
Really.
Air fryer, you will never have to give up the crispiness
Right.
of fried chicken if you have an air fryer and no oil. You
Wow.
don't need it. You could still get that nice, juicy, crispy texture you're looking
Right.
for, and
Mhm.
not have to have the artery clogging, heart killing
Right.
meals. Because the reason is diabetes runs prevalent
Absolutely.
everywhere in the world, but especially in us, in
Yes.
colored people.
Yes.
It's just our genes. In
Yes.
colored people, diabetes
Yes.
affects us more
Yes.
than Caucasian people.
Yes.
And the key, you hear from you might hear from the doctors and social media, sugar, 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 give up the sugar, blah, 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 blah. That's
Right.
only half the story.
Right.
That's the second half. The first half of the story is that fat from
Mhm.
your food gets into the cells before the glucose, which is the energy that your cells need.
Right.
The glucose that your cells need comes from the plant-based foods that you eat.
Wow.
And so your brain and your body need that energy.
Mhm.
If you eat a meal that is high in fat, so let's say instead of air fried chicken, you do deep fried chicken and you have some potatoes and beans.
Right.
The fat from the oil and the chicken will get into your cells before the glucose does.
Wow.
That blocks the glucose. So now it's just wandering the halls. It has nowhere to go.
Wow.
And so your insulin spikes,
Mhm.
and then you eventually end up getting diabetes because you do this over and over and over. And
Right.
then on top of that, now you're eating foods like white bread or pastries and cakes or whatever. So now you already have this glucose wandering on all around the halls that has nowhere to go. And now you send more, but there's no room in the cell. There's nowhere for it to go because the fat has taken up all the room. And so your body can, but your brain set your cells don't know that the glucose is outside. It's like going to a party. And
Right.
it's like going to a party and the main celebrity is
Right.
glucose. So the party's taking place in the cell. The
Right.
cell is the room, it's the hall. Glucose is the star. And the cell sends a message to brain to say, yo, we're ready. The party's
Right.
hopping, ready for our celebrity to come in now.
Right.
Send in glucose. Brain says, awesome. I'll call down to pancreas.
Yeah.
Your pancreas is where your insulin is made.
Right.
Brain says to pancreas, yo, send the chauffeur. Chauffeur is insulin.
Wow.
Glucose cannot get into the cell. Glucose, the celebrity, cannot
Right.
get into the hall, which is the cell,
Right.
without insulin. So pancreas says, yo, insulin, let's go. It's time to go. Insulin says, I'm ready, man. He picks up glucose. While they are traveling to the hall, fat slips in the back door
Wow.
and takes up all the room. Fat brings all of his friends. Now the room is at capacity. There's nowhere for this. For when glucose and insulin get there, the
Right.
bouncer says, yo, there's no room for you here. Glucose and insulin say, brain said they're ready for us.
Right.
Bouncer says, I'm telling you, we have reached capacity. We can't let you in. I don't care who you are. We can't let you in. Meantime, the host of the party in the cell is saying to brain, I've been waiting half an hour. Where is the celebrity? Brain
Right.
says, shit, I thought I sent you.
Right.
Sends another message to pancreas. Pancreas says, oh my God, let me send more insulin. And so this goes on.
Wow.
And the reason is the fat. So when you're thinking
The
about,
fact that you broke that down the way you did, like, it's just okay.
is it easy to understand?
Yes, that says a lot. That, yeah, the way you broke that down. If that is taught to, you know, the world, because I'm not going to even just just put people in their own little corners. But if it was taught that way, then people would truly understand how the body really works. Because like you said, the doctor is going to be like, okay, take this pill, and this pill is going to take this side effect, and this pill is supposed to take care of this side effect, but all these side effects are happening.
All they're trying to do is fill their pockets. They're not looking to heal you,
Right.
because there's no money in
Yes.
there's no money in people who are healthy.
Yes. Right.
There's only money in people who are sick. So
Yes.
they always want to keep you. And I'm not saying all doctors. I'm just saying this is the way the medical institution works.
Absolutely.
There is no insurance company that's
Right.
going to write a prescription for a doctor, or it's going to pay a doctor to tell you, you know what, eat broccoli instead of fried chicken.
Right.
Who the hell is going to benefit from that?
Nobody. But the patient.
Nobody, right? Except you. But they don't want that, because then they don't make money off of you.
Yes.
And that's where somebody like me comes in. I'm telling you, there are ways to enjoy the foods that you love, but let's change the way that you're cooking it a bit so that it's going to benefit your health. People talk about, potatoes being bad. There is nothing wrong with a potato. It's one of the most comforting, beautiful foods that you can eat, full of protein and iron. But if you're going to slather it in butter or margarine and cheese, it's not the potato's fault. It's your fault.
Yes.
He didn't ask for that.
Exactly.
You have it with some salsa or some veggies or something instead, or a nice curry sauce or something. You're good to go, man.
Right. Wow.
So, and the reason I brought up diabetes is because it is connected to everything. It is the precursor for Alzheimer's. It is the precursor for heart disease. It's the precursor for it's connected. Sorry, it's not the precursor, but it is connected to cancer.
Right.
It's insulin resistance is a real problem, a real problem. And you could fix it by just reducing the amount of saturated fat you put in your body and refined sugars. You choosing whole foods instead. So if you're baking, use maple syrup instead of sugar. No big deal. You still get a sweetness, but maple syrup is real. Your body recognizes it and could use it. You know what I mean? Right. Whereas sugar cane, awesome, fantastic for your body. You take now that juice from the sugar cane and you refine it and you get sugar. Now you've got something the body can't recognize.
Wow.
You understand?
I'm speechless over it. Like I don't even know what else to say.
There's a lot. That's just the tip of the iceberg, but it's the message that I really want to spread, that the message is you're in charge. Don't let anybody fool you and think that you need this one and that one to help you.
Right.
You are the best advocate for your health. You're not feeling good, reach out to somebody to say, I need help. If what they're giving you is not serving your joy, you're not feeling good about it, and it comes with side effects, then that's not for you. You need to find somebody else.
Yes. And the crazy part,
food does not give you side effects.
Right. That's true. That is so true. That's
right.
Crazy because I've been working for CVS for a while, on the pharmacy side, and learning about it because I've been, trying to take the test to, to get where I want to be, the money wise. But doing the research on these medications, learning about everything that it does, and I was like, you know what, Lord, I need a garden. I need some land. I need I need that. Like I have been hounding my husband, like, listen, we gotta get some land. I don't even care about the house. We can get a trailer for all I can.
And put it on the farm.
Listen, cause even for like the meats wise, like you control what your animal eats, if that's the case. And then also you control the vegetables that you grow. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to get it sprayed like people have been spraying.
100%. Do it like our grandmas, our great grandmas.
Yes.
Why did they live so long? Because they were doing everything.
Yes.
Because in the food industry in those days, there was no industry. It was, as you say, you plant your food, you reap it, and you cook it. But the food industry, unfortunately, has changed since the Industrial Revolution, since wartime, and everything is about convenience. And I'm not saying that you can't live well on convenience. If you look in my freezer right now, it's full of frozen vegetables.
Right.
I'm a chef, but I don't like to chop shit. I do not like to chop vegetables, girlfriend.
Listen, I don't think I don't like chopping this, the onions and I don't know how to chop stuff right because I lose the juices. Like I don't know.
I could teach you how to do that. We could do a cooking class maybe for the next time.
Yes, absolutely. I would love that. I would truly love that. Like
no, for sure. I love teaching cooking classes. I'm happy to do that all the time. But you could buy, especially with the price of food these days, fresh food tends to be very expensive.
It is.
But go to the frozen section in your grocery. Buy the squash already chopped. Buy the broccoli already chopped. Buy the good vegetables where they're cut to a size where you could recognize this belonged to a carrot. You know what I mean? Not this little square thing of orange and you're not sure what could this possibly be.
Right.
Buy the chunky vegetables and then use them. Make your soups, make your stews, make your stir fries. Put them in your casseroles. You can minimize the amount of work that needs to be done. And then you can boil off your or steam off your different kind of rices or whole grains, your quinoa, your millet, your black rice, brown rice, whatever it is that you like. Not Uncle Ben's. No Uncle Ben's. I have so many clients who hear me say that, and then when I say no Uncle Ben's, then
I know.
How did you know, Kate? I know. I shop in the grocery like everybody else.
Right, exactly.
So if what you're purchasing, what you go to reach for says minute, quick, instant, fast, that's not for you. That's food that's trying to kill you. You want your food because that means that the fiber, which is fiber, to put it in a short form, fiber is like a package that holds protein, vitamins, minerals, good carbs, and everything that your body needs and recognizes it. It wraps it in a good package, and the package is called fiber. So for example, we'll use steel cut oats, the best form of oats that you could get, amazing for your gut, fantastic for your brain health, great. But now what if you strip away that fiber? What if you refine it and you make oatmeal that comes in those little packets that you can heat up in 5 minutes? All the protein is gone, all the good carbs are gone, all the vitamins and the minerals are gone because the fiber, the package has been removed. So now you expose all the parts of that food that that need all the other parts to work well.
Right.
So when everybody else is gone and you're just standing alone there in the street,
Right.
you're not going to be able to do that. Those pieces that are left can't function the way that your
Right.
body wants them to. So what happens? Insulin spikes because all you're left is with sugar.
Wow.
So you want the high fiber, and anything that says minute, instant, quick, fast, whatever, the fiber is gone. There's no fiber there. So you're not getting protein. You're
Right.
not getting the good carbs. You're not getting the vitamins, and you're not getting the minerals. You're not getting what your body needs. So avoid that. Buy rice in a big pack
Yes.
that
Right.
takes 20 minutes to cook.
Right.
Don't buy white bread. Don't buy Wonder Bread. They're trying to kill you with that. There's nothing good in there. If your bread is squishy, then it's full with oil. I just told you the story about diabetes and oil.
Right.
Bread
Right.
is not supposed to be squishy. It's supposed to be sourdough is what you want to look for. You can make an awesome stuffing with sourdough bread. Oh my Lord. Sourdough bread and some cranberries and apples, some sage and mushrooms. So good. Sourdough. Why? Because sourdough is the original way bread was made. It's fermented. It has to sit. It has to rest. It has to grow. That sitting resting period is what creates the benefits.
Right.
Simple things. I'm not telling you stop eating bread. I'm just telling you buy sourdough.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not telling you stop eating rice. I'm Indian. You can't tell me stop eating rice.
Right. Right.
But what kind? Don't buy the quick cooked shit. Buy the things that take time.
Wow.
Buy the chickpeas, whether in a can or in dry. Buy the red beans. Buy the black beans. Buy the black eyed peas. Buy these foods and eat them.
Wow.
And the main reason is it feeds your gut,
Right.
which means it feeds your brain. If you're not feeling mentally well, it's because something is wrong in your gut. For every one message that your brain sends down through your vagus nerve into your gut sends 9 messages back up. It regulates your mood, it regulates your metabolism, it regulates your energy, it regulates every single thing. And your gut survives on fiber, which comes from whole plant-based foods. I don't know what else to tell you.
I mean, I'm listening in my brain, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, you can't unhear this. Like, now you know that you have.
Now you know, so you can make better decisions, right?
Exactly, because I know every time I make a meal, I'm gonna be like, Kiki said, do this and do that, mix that with this, and go from there. And it's like, because the foods that you're explaining sound really good. It actually sounds better than most of the foods that we're every day, every day. And I'm like, when I say I'm truly grateful, because I didn't think of the body like that. We take for granted, this body that we live in. Like, we wake up every day, okay, we're good. Like, that's all, that's what matters. We can do whatever we want to do, put whatever we want in it, and think that it's going to be okay. But like you said, it, as you continue to defile it, keep putting these things in it, like, it's not going to get any better. You're just gonna, grow, like you said, with the diabetes and the Alzheimer's and all that. Because again, like you said, the people of color,
we're exposed to it more than anybody. And what's really important to remember, we've grown up thinking, oh, these are like old people diseases. I don't have to think about this until I'm in my 60s, 70s, 80s.
Right.
Everything. Alzheimer's takes approximately 40 to 50 years to develop. So you're going to see the signs in your 80s, but it starts in your 40s. Diabetes and cancer and heart-related diseases take approximately 20 to 25 years to develop. So what you're doing today, you might think, oh, I'm good. Look, I'm functioning. Everything's cool.
Yeah, right.
And now 25 years from now, what's your position going to be?
Wow.
Completely different. So you have to be willing to play
Hmm.
the long game.
Yes.
I'm doing what I can today. So tomorrow, 25 years from now,
Right.
I'm not going to be one of those pill poppers. I'm not going to need that.
Right. Yes. Because I think I listened to one of the videos you had, and you was like, for our you short term people, y'all can do that. I'm not about that life. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna. I'm a
I'm not about short term.
right. And and the way you explain it, which is phenomenal, and I definitely looking forward to having a cooking session because I want to do better. I'm gonna do better because if I don't do better, then my listeners will probably be like, well, she just doing it just because. No, no, it really because my husband he's on high blood pressure medications. My family has high blood pressure, and they generational
Yep.
curses that we have.
100%.
Yeah, generational curses that we have, and it's like, how can we break this? How can we stop this?
How can we
Especially with
break
the
this cycle? Where can
yes,
we be the last stop? And absolutely. I have this one client. She's an older white woman. She's in her 60s, and she was told by her doctor 3 years ago that she has to go on high blood pressure meds. And she said to me, the doctor said to her, now once I put you on this high blood pressure med, this is it for life. You're going to have to be on this for the rest of your life.
right,
I
right,
said, what? Why are they telling you this bullshit?
yeah,
It's absolute crap. So
yeah,
she came to me and we worked on her diet. We worked on her mindset. We changed
mm,
the way that she was living in this idea of fear.
right,
I explained to her how every illness has an emotional, energetic root cause. So we got down to the root cause of all that and we stripped it away and built it back up. She just told me just last week, Thursday, she called me up to say her doctor said she doesn't have to be on the high blood pressure meds anymore.
wow,
Completely change.
wow,
Completely. So don't let doctors tell you, give
yes,
you that diagnosis that this is for life. It is not. I'm not saying that you could be completely healed, but you could try.
yes,
You
yes,
can make the improvements that are necessary and try to do better for yourself, because if you don't, you've seen nobody else cares.
right,
Nobody else is going to do it for you. So you have to make the effort to seek out better for yourself. And if the answer you're getting is you got to be on this medication for the rest of your life, you tell them no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks.
right,
I can do something, I can do better. And
right,
remember that it's not just about the physical body. What
hmm,
affects the physical is going to affect the mental.
right,
You
wow,
have you got to keep the two. Think about it. Think about your body like a car.
hmm,
I drive a race car, a sports car. So it's supposed to have the best oil, the best gas and everything. But
right,
sometimes I just can't afford the top tier.
right,
So if you got a car and these are the things you got to do to maintain the life of this car. It's a damn expensive car. We can't
right,
be replacing this over and over. So
yeah,
do the things you're supposed to do. Okay, fine. Hard times hit and you can't afford to put in the same kind of fuel. You got to
right,
put in the lesser fuel. Well, the car's
right,
still running. It's still getting me from here to Walmart and back.
right, right,
But what ends up happening? Oh, all of a sudden, it's starting to go chug a chug a chug instead of vroom. And then
right,
things start to break down. And now I got to put it in the shop for repair. But
yeah,
when I was doing the right things before, I
everything
didn't
was
have to visit the shop at all.
right,
Everything was great. I just changed the oil and everything's good. The body's the same way. Sure, the food that you eat, as long as you're putting energy into the body, it's going to perform the action. But how long is that going to last?
right,
Your body has 6 main defense systems. They're going to do the best that they can because your body's job is to
right,
serve you. It has one purpose, to
yeah,
keep your essence in there to do the things you came here to do. But if you are not you working with your body as a partner and you continue
mhm,
to feed it foods that don't support its needs,
right,
at some point it's going to send up a red flag, a white flag to say, I surrender.
right,
And that might be a back pain, knee pain. It could be a stroke. It could
yeah,
just be elevated insulin. That though these are all signs. It could be a headache. Maybe you've had a headache for 3 days.
right,
These are signs that your body's saying, I need help. You
wow,
need to stop doing the things you're doing and start doing the things I need so that I can help you. That's where you got to start looking at the body. It is your partner in
right,
life. And
yes,
you're either going to work together and that'll be great harmony,
Right.
or you're going to work in separately. And let me tell you, the body is like Las Vegas. The house always wins.
Yes.
When your body can't take any more of your foolishness, it will shut you down.
Wow.
You got to just decide what kind of life you want to live. That's all.
Wow.
I always tell my clients, make your body's and brain's needs the priority and
Mhm.
fit life around it. Don't
Yes.
come and tell me you don't have time because of life. No, you got it wrong.
Right. Right.
Your mind and body have to be the priority, and
Yes.
then everything else can
Yes.
find its way around it.
Yes.
Then there's no excuses.
Right. And if it doesn't fit, it just got to go.
Then it's got to go.
Got to go. Because
And it doesn't mean that you got to change your cultural food and
right.
your
Right.
traditions. You
Right.
just need to maybe adjust
Yes.
how you're preparing those cultural foods.
Right.
I strongly, strongly do not believe in people changing their foods that represent who they are
Right.
as a people
Mm.
for the sake of health, because I know that there's a different way. I know that I could still cook my curries because I'm West Indian. My parents are from Trinidad in the West Indies. I
Right.
could still eat my my curries and my sauces and my this and that. I just need to know I just need to learn how do I adjust the
Yes.
ingredients to
Yes.
still get the flavor, maintain the culture,
Right.
and be good for me.
Right. Makes total sense. Because I know you said earlier that, you know, you were so busy taking care of other people, getting them right, but at the same time, you're failing, falling apart health wise and
Yeah.
mentally wise and all those other places. So to get back to you, because after everybody's well and done, you're looking at yourself in the mirror after everybody's done. So what are you doing with yourself? You
What
know, yeah, I can relate. Relate to that because as women, we do tend to be caregivers no matter who the person is.
Absolutely.
We're caregivers, but we wear so many hats that we forget that we're a person too. Like we have to take care of our bodies are, like you said, screaming for help. Like I need some help. Like we falling here. Like everybody else is good and dandy running around, running
Mhm.
track, but you
Do
know
like the airplanes say, put on your mask first.
yes.
It is not selfish.
Right.
Self-care is not selfish. How are
Right.
you going to help somebody if you're falling apart?
Right. Makes total sense.
You have to, I tell my clients, please put yourself on the priority list.
Yes.
Maybe you're not at the top of the list, but oh gosh, at least include your name on
Yes.
the list.
Yes.
You
At least,
matter too,
right. At least the top three.
right?
At least to the top three.
Whatever you're doing for your spouse or your children, why can't you do that for you too?
Right. Makes total sense.
Right?
I love that. I truly love that. Like you know,
You're so funny.
I'm speechless though. Like I really am. Like because like I said before, we don't think of these things. And for me to be really just like when I told you before, I'm clueless on it. I really am. Like people will say do this, do that. Eat this, eat that, whatever. Don't eat sugar, whatever. I don't know. Like it's just a lot.
There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of
Noise.
noise.
It's a lot of noise that don't make sense. I just
Mhm.
need somebody to make it make sense to me so that I can know, okay, what do I really need to do to be healthy? Because I'm trying to. I told God I was like, because I'm everybody know my story, so it's no shame. I'm HIV positive,
Mhm.
and I don't plan on being on these medications forever because I was laying in the bed stiff as a board because I just got my injections or whatever, and I'm like, you know what, God, what do I need to do to get my blood right? Like, well, how can I
Mhm.
get to where I can, you know, move
Yeah,
in
so you're immunocompromised to start with.
right,
So you need to be eating all the high vitamin food.
right,
It's because you're already compromised, you need to boost your immune system, meaning you need to give it as much as your body could possibly take
hmm
to boost your immune system because it's not able to work as it was created to.
right, right,
So eat for in your specific case, or anybody who's immunocompromised, like for example,
right,
my father-in-law who had a double lung transplant, he's got somebody else's parts in his body.
right.
So he's on medication for life. so that he doesn't reject it. So eating an abundance of fruit.
Right. Okay.
Whether it's frozen fruit that you've warmed up or fresh fruit, whatever, however you eat it, whether you have it with some almonds and walnuts, some or flax, or you bake it, I don't care, as long as it's you eat it in the whole foods, meaning without any other refined sugars or fats.
Right.
Fruit will always be your friend.
Okay.
It's not only high water, but it's high vitamin.
Mm-hmm.
Herbs and spices. Herbs and spices are the most anti-inflammatory foods on the planet. There isn't anything that herbs and spices cannot do.
Wow.
Green leafy vegetables, like your collards, without the ham.
I love you. Like, so without it, like without the hams, without the legs,
or you could to ease into it, make it with the ham. Don't eat the ham. It'll have the flavor.
Makes sense.
Eat the collards, not the ham.
Makes sense.
And don't cook the whole living life out of it.
Right.
Cook it until it gets a nice bright green, then pull it off.
Okay.
Right? Eating anything dark leafy green, whether it's spinach or collards, kale, whatever it is. Foods like broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage, they'll be your best friends. Okay. They're high. What you're looking for in your specific case and anybody else who's immunocompromised is high vitamin C food.
Okay. High vitamin C. Okay.
High vitamin C food. So that's going to be anything that's green, anything that's bright colored, and anything white like cauliflower or cabbage. Okay. Fill your plates with those. Fill.
Okay. Okay. Cool beans. I can definitely do that. So like when you make the foods, like with the vegetables and high colors, like, are you just seasoning them with the herbs and the, I guess the more natural seasonings?
Yeah, I don't often buy seasoning blends. Sometimes I do, but then I read the ingredients. What else is in this seasoning blend? Okay. Because remember, anything that's sitting on a shelf, and I'm not against processed foods, but we got to read the ingredients. And as we say, be real about it.
Right.
If it's sitting on a shelf, you got to ask yourself, what is in there that's keeping that on the shelf for the next 6 months to a year? Is that going to really be good for me if it could sit on a shelf for a year?
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Dried spices, for sure. Dried spices can keep for 6 months. No problem. Right. But then read the ingredients. Are there caking agents? Are there dyes? Are there preservatives in there? Right. Is the salt the preservative? Okay, no worries if salt is the preservative. Right. But is there anything else in there? If salt is the preservative, because it usually is, right. Then you got to adjust the amount of salt that's going to go into the cooking, right?
Yes.
So for example, Thanksgiving is coming up in the States. I guess it's tomorrow. For my Thanksgiving, the Canadian Thanksgiving, I made a whole roasted cauliflower. So I made this awesome barbecue sauce. You could buy your favorite barbecue sauce. You don't have to make it. Right. And I basted the whole of the outside of the cauliflower with it. And of course, I put extra herbs and spices to really make it taste really good. And then I put it in the oven and I roasted it like a chicken. And then I cut up root vegetables like carrots and turnips and potatoes, and I put it in the pot with the cauliflower. So instead of it being a chicken, because I'm plant-based, right. I used a cauliflower, but I treated it as if it was a whole chicken. And then I made a stovetop stuffing with some sourdough bread with mushrooms and sage and thyme, and I had some brown lentils, so I cooked it all up together. And then we did not a sweet potato pie. I did roasted sweet potatoes, and we had this beautiful, beautiful meal. So and then I did green beans almondine, which is just really nice, crispy green beans tossed in a mustard and mustard mayo and almond sauce. You could do all of that, or pick a few of those and serve it with your turkey. And then you have, or whichever animal protein you're going to have at Thanksgiving. Right. Well, look at all of those vegetables that you can easily make that are supporting your health, and you haven't given up anything.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. So.
Or if you're going to make mashed potatoes, I love mashed potatoes at Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Right.
I add cauliflower. I buy cauliflower rice
Mm-hmm.
and I add it to the mashed potatoes, so it brings down the glycemic index of the potato. So it makes it's just a little extra fiber. It's a little extra health.
Right.
But because you blended it into the potatoes, you won't taste that there's any cauliflower there.
Right.
So you could do, there are little things that you could do to help yourself.
So
Yeah, I think we need to do a cooking class.
You took my words. So, yeah, I like when I say I'm speechless, like I really am speechless. Like I have nothing else to say. Like I don't know. It's so much to process because it's like, man, because all you can think about is like, man, I've been living life wrong, like completely. Like
no. Let's not go down that route. No,
no, not like
you've
that.
Been living life with the knowledge that you had.
Yes,
that doesn't make it wrong.
Right.
You do the best with what you have.
Right.
Now you've learned a little bit more. Now you can add to it. You've never done anything wrong. You just did the best with what you had.
Okay.
Don't berate yourself for what you were doing when you didn't know.
But now I know. Because, I do have, 4 other people.
Now no screw ups.
Man, listen. Because I'm telling you, the next meal I make, I'm be like, listen, Kiki. No, I'm being real. Like Kiki said, all right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this and we're gonna just, we're not gonna fry as much. We're gonna, stir fry. We're gonna do this. We're gonna, make it different, cook differently. And now that, of course I have, 4 children, now I can teach them to be like, okay,
stop the cycle.
Yes, like we're gonna start early, even though some of them are older, it's fine. We can start now. It's never too, I'm not gonna say it's never too late, but it's never too late to start. As long as you still have breath in your body, you can still.
God keeps waking you up. Today's the day to start.
Exactly. So yeah. So
you can do it. And you can reach out to me anytime. I'm always available. Well, if you follow me on Instagram on KIS_kitchen, so Keys Kitchen, but there's no apostrophe. It's KIS_kitchen. On Instagram, I'm always posting stuff. I'm always posting tips. There's recipes. I'm always posting stuff there. And then if anybody's on Facebook, you can find me at facebook.com/kitchen key. It's the opposite of the name.
Okay.
Some Japanese guy has Keys Kitchen, so I have Kitchen Key. But you'll see my face. You'll know it's my page because you'll see my face.
Right.
And you can find me on my website. So, for example, the website is keyskitchen.com. That's KIS Kitchen, all one word, .com. I'm teaching a gut health class, a 23-day gut health course starting January 15th.
Okay.
And we have early bird pricing for that now. And that's going to be everything that you need to revamp your gut health, which affects everything in your whole body. There'll be cooking classes, free recipes, recipe book. There'll be a whole bunch of stuff happening. And so those are my group coaching courses. I'm going to do a diabetes one in May. I'll do a cancer one somewhere in between that. Right. And I just did a 2-hour seminar last night on menopause, but a holistic way of healing through menopause. So you don't have to be on pills if you don't want to, so that you could reverse your hot flashes and all that.
Could have been on that one so I can teach man.
We could always do that on another time for sure.
Absolutely.
And you could always reach out to me by email at info@keyskitchen.com. I'm always available. I'm happy to I offer private coaching. So for people who have issues that need that one-on-one attention, then I'm there. But if you don't need and you just want to learn, you can find me practically everywhere and just start somewhere small. Start small by having warm lemon water in the morning instead of coffee. Leave your coffee until 10 o'clock. Start with warm lemon water in the morning. That's it. Like if you do nothing else, just do that one thing for 7 days. Warm lemon water. You take a lemon, you cut it into 6 pieces, take one of those 6 pieces, drop it in a cup, fill the cup with hot water. Drink the water. That's it.
And what's the benefit of that?
There's 100 benefits to that. Some of the main benefits are the scent of the lemon wakes up your brain. Scent of citrus brings alertness and awareness to your brain. The water helps to flush out all of the bacteria that's been collected in your lymph nodes. It helps to flush it out. Lemons, because of the yellow color, are antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, lots and lots of benefits. It helps to cleanse your liver. It helps to it aids with weight loss. You just can't
Hey, so I do drink lemon water, but it's not hot like lemon water. I was just, curious on what the difference between, you
Hot
know,
and cold.
right,
So you always want to drink room temperature water or hotter, especially in the morning because your system is really sluggish after it's been fasting all night long, right?
right,
So you can think of it as since you have children, if you were to take a bucket of cold water and go throw it on one of your children to wake them up,
right.
that's not going to be a happy day.
Not at
But
all.
if you pet them, you stroke their head, sweetheart, it's time to wake up, gentle ways of waking, then all of a sudden
Wow.
everything that's going to be a good day. So same thing with your
Yeah.
digestive system. It's
Okay.
weak, it's tired, it's sluggish in the
Mm-hmm.
morning.
Mm-hmm.
So putting something cold in it is a shock, which stops the system. But
Okay.
using something warm, because remember the inside of your body is 36 degrees. So now
Right.
you want to put something in there that's 0 degrees. What do you
Right.
honestly think is going to happen?
Right. Totally makes sense. To-
So warm liquids at least in the morning,
Okay.
and leave
I-
coffee until 10 o'clock because the research shows that your body's more receptive to the benefits of coffee from between 10 and 2 o'clock.
that's really good to know. That is really.
Coffee is also a diuretic, which means it pulls water out of your body. You don't want to be pulling water out of your body when you've been asleep for 8 hours and your body hasn't had any water. You want to give it water because your body is 85% water. You're gonna tell a man who's been walking the desert for 40 days, I got
Right.
this water, but you gotta wait. I'm gonna give you something that's gonna draw more water out of your body.
Right.
Really?
Right. Wow. I love the what do you call it when you make the stories into
Oh,
something?
the analogies?
Yes, I love that. I
Thank
truly
you.
love that. I love that. But I definitely have learned a lot within the hour we've been on here. I mean, what can you say? Like, I don't know. I mean, because my brain is overloaded. How about that? I'm just being real.
Yep,
Um,
that's usually what it is.
yeah,
I apologize for overloading your brain, but I
no.
care. I genuinely want you to do better for yourself and for your
Right,
listeners. I have nothing invested in medication.
right.
I just want you to go to the grocery and see the bright colored foods, bring them home and cook them. That's it. That's all
Yes,
I'm asking.
yes. And no, it's not like an overwhelmed thing. It's like man, just wanting to do better. I'll just say it like that. Just now that what
Now
you
you're
do.
empowered.
Yes,
Now
yes,
you know the power is with you and
yes,
you could do it.
yes, yes. Especially when you know your family history. Now I can actually take this and take it, to my own family, even though probably Thanksgiving is probably already in play right about now. But from now on, I can be like,
Moving forward.
yes, like let's do this because, you know, who wants to do like you said, who wants to deal with, you know, 30 years of 40 years of what is it, Alzheimer's growing in your body, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden when you turn 80, it's like boom, like here it is. Like, how did this get here? You know how
Now
it got.
you know.
Yeah, like now you know how I got here. Like, how you can reverse those health things that we have been so the society has given to us, like straight across the board. Even when you day one, when they smacked you on the butt and said you was a girl or a boy, they
Mhm.
gave it to you already from there. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because it's like a generational, you know,
Absolutely,
generation.
especially us people of color carry
Yeah,
a lot of generational trauma, but
yeah,
we can't keep living by that. We
yeah,
can't keep using it as an
yeah.
excuse that my
Right,
grandparents sailed across the oceans and think they didn't know. Okay,
right,
great. That's also the reason why I'm here today, though,
yeah,
because they did that.
yes,
So now I need to be the last chain on that link and say,
yeah.
I'm ending this generational trauma. After me, nobody's going through this again. I'm
Come on.
making the change today.
Yes, absolutely. And that's exactly what's gonna happen within my household. And hope,
Awesome. I love it. I love it.
yeah, like for because I will be key. Like, all right, so I got this. What can I do?
Anytime. I have clients who do that all the time. I'm in the grocery. Is this good? Should I buy this? What do you think about it? People send me pictures all the time. You just do that. Facebook Messenger me with
Yeah,
pictures and questions. As long as I see what it is and the ingredients
yeah,
list, I'll reply to you right away.
right. Because I'm one now. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look at the sodium intake. I'm gonna look at the salt intake. I'm gonna look at all of these things, and now I'm gonna start using frozen instead of canned because I feel like you said, crazy part. What holds this on the shelf or in the fridge? for this long period of time. Like, what is in it that's making it,
Because
like,
naturally, if you just put time on the counter,
right,
it's not going to last you years and years and years.
right.
And I'm not saying that you can't have canned. If you're going to buy canned legumes. If you
Okay.
could afford frozen vegetables, buy
Mhm.
frozen instead of canned.
Okay.
And
I'm,
the
I'm,
reason is because canned vegetables have been pressure cooked in that can, and they've been cooked beyond its nutrient value. So you're not really helping yourself. But frozen vegetables tend to be actually better for you than fresh more often than not, because they're picked at their height of ripeness and they're flash frozen and then they're shipped. Whereas fresh vegetables have to wait for it to get, they don't wait for it to get ripe. They pick it green and then they ship it and hopefully it gets ripe. I'm not against fresh vegetables. I'm just being real about it's winter time. We
it is.
don't get all the freshest vegetables, at least not in Canada.
Right.
So buy frozen because it's better for frozen fruit, frozen vegetables. Do it.
Right. Right. Yeah. I got, yeah. I got
You're
you.
gonna get there.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna get there, and so are the listeners. Definitely going, because once you hear it, you can't. It's just impossible of not hearing it because you heard it. Once that seed has been planted, in your mind that, okay, this is what caused this, then it's your choice to do better. You know what I'm
Then
saying?
it's your choice. You always have a choice at
Yeah,
that point.
yes, and I choose to do better. So hopefully everybody chooses to do better right along with the rest of us.
Yeah.
Because
Choose
definitely
yourself.
yes, to help yourself, because this your body, like you said, this is what we have to live in until that time. So I definitely honor you by taking the path that you did. Though it came, with health first. The traumas of life came first with the health scares and stuff like that. But to know that the honor is, that you acknowledged and you made the change. You didn't make the excuses. You didn't do any of that. You did your homework. You did your research. You did everything that you're supposed to do, and it just wasn't for you. It was for your family,
Yeah.
because we're here together. Like, family is super important. That's one thing that we gonna live and die with, family. Like, it's what it is. So for you to acknowledge it right then and bring them with you in your research, in your, because I'm sure it was some fails in there. I'm sure it was some, ups and downs, roller coaster lives. I'm sure it was, but for you to go through it together is definitely.
We're stronger together, right? It's hard to do things when you're on your own. But you have somebody with you, all
Yeah.
of a sudden there's strength in numbers, right?
Yeah. Yes, you have that accountability partner, that one that's going to keep you,
Mm-hmm.
on track. So that's definitely helpful, and I'm glad that we were able to have this conversation, because now, me personally, I can't speak for everybody else. I'm going to be held accountable, but just with your voice in my head saying, "Listen."
And
No.
when you make decisions that don't support your long-term health,
Yes.
just take responsibility for it. No
Yes.
big deal.
Yes.
You want to have it's Thanksgiving and you want to have, well, not Thanksgiving, let's say Christmas time. We all have beautiful baked goods, and I love a pie. Pie is my number one favorite food in
Right.
life.
Right.
And if you think I'm not going to have every pie that's put in front of me, you got to be kidding yourself. But
Right.
take responsibility for it. How much of that are you going to have? Are you going to have the good stuff before the pie? Or are you going to have the pies on this date and then not before and not after? Like, be responsible.
Right.
Don't just, I'll just do whatever the hell I want and I'll take the pills later. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see you on the other side of a hospital bed in 20 years. No worries.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Choose you.
Yes.
You matter.
Yes.
Choose you.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, indeed. So I know, definitely, again, I definitely truly enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you so much.
I've learned so much. As many times I've never been as speechless as I am now. Like, to be honest, I always somewhat have a comeback somewhere, but I don't today, which is a good thing. I'm grateful.
Okay, great.
I'm highly grateful. I don't want you to feel bad, like, if I'm speechless, because when I do this, or like, That ain't nothing else to say. Like,
Mic drop. What else you gonna say?
You know what I'm saying? You can't even come back with that because you have no excuse for, you have no excuse. You just have to make the right decision, have to make the right choice for you, So it's like, what more can you say? So all I can say is thank you. Truly, thank you for helping us to realize that there is a better way. You know what I'm saying? And again, you give the choice to say it's up to you to do it. If you don't make the choice, then hey, that's on you.
Don't cry later then.
Yeah, you can't say that I didn't tell you, or you didn't. You can't say that you didn't get the knowledge or the understanding because you broke it down to where a little kid can understand it. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, the analogies are crazy, but I'm definitely gonna follow. I'm definitely gonna grab the recipes, and I would love to have a cooking session so that people can actually see,
exactly, see and taste what we're talking about. Right now, it's just words.
Yes.
But when you put it on, that's why I'm a chef as well.
Right.
When you put it on a plate, now you could feel it.
Yes. Yes.
Now then you could say, I could do this.
I can do this.
This is not that hard.
Exactly.
I can do hard things, and this is not hard.
Exactly. And I'm definitely looking forward to that more sooner than later. I know you have
you call me anytime and I will make time for you for sure. I do run a meal delivery service, an anti-inflammatory meal delivery service in Toronto, where I make these meals and give to people who are unwell and need and so on. So I'm not available every single week, but whenever you call, I will make time. I promise.
And I would love that. I'm very highly considerate. Do continue you doing what you're doing because I know you're helping a lot of people. Like I know the testimonials is going to be just through the roof, like, because of you, what I'm saying, the path that you chose. So we definitely will be planning that. And I honor you and I thank you for taking the time out to talk with me and teach me and all the others as well. Because I'm being selfish right now. You taught me.
No worries. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And my only goal in life is to whatever I've learned, to teach it to somebody else.
Yes.
Because where I was, I gave you just a snippet of where I was in the past. But based on my history as well, I don't want anybody to ever have to feel the way I did in the past. So if I can do one little thing to bring some sort of joy. My tagline is feed your joy. So if I can help you remove the pain so that you could feed your joy in all the different ways that you want to, then I've lived a good life.
Yes.
Then I've achieved my goal. So call on me whenever you want.
Absolutely. I am. No, just
like, call me every 5 minutes.
No, I'm gonna breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm just gonna be like, like, what can I do? Like, what are your ideas? So
for sure.
I'm definitely on it. Because
and if anybody could if it's within their budget to take that course, that gut health course, that's going to have full meal plans for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
And even though I am a plant-based nutritionist, I respect that not the whole world is not plant-based. I'm real about that, and so I adjust. None of my clients, I've been doing this for years. None of my clients are plant-based. I'm the only one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Everybody eats meat, but I teach them when is the best time to have it based on your body's rhythms, what kind, how to cook it, what to pair it with.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes. I love it. I'm ready.
All right. Let's do it.
I was ready. But I definitely hope you enjoy the day, the rest of your day.
Thank you. I will, because it started with you.
Yes, indeed. I love it. No. enjoy your family, for the holidays and everything. And we will definitely stay in touch for sure. This is a lifetime God friendship for me. Cause
I feel it for sure.
I love it, and we'll be staying in touch for sure. So
awesome. Thank you so much. Blessings of the holidays to you and your family and all of your listeners. Yes. I'm grateful and thankful for all of you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. So this will be on, like I'm sure as soon as I end it, it'll be on YouTube and on Facebook. And I will also send you.
Oh yeah, please. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely send you the link so that you can share or however you do it. So I'll definitely be in touch with you right after this. Though.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Sean. I really appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Enjoy your day.
Take care. Thank you.
You too. Bye bye.